Hello children. In this video, we are going to understand and learn about the motions of the earth in a very easy way. So be ready with your notebook and pens as we start with our chapter. Students, have you ever stopped to wonder why we have seasons or why the sun rises and sets every day? Well, it's all because of the amazing motions of the earth. Now imagine a spinning top. It spins around and around, right? Well, the earth is kind of like a giant spinning top too, but it's spinning in a different way. But that's not all. The earth also moves in a big circle around the sun. Now, if you think about it, that's a lot of motion going on all at once. But don't worry, we will break it down and make it easy to understand. So, what are Earth's motions all about? Well, it all comes down to rotation and revolution. Let's first understand rotation. Now, here is where it gets really interesting. The Earth's axis, which is an imaginary line running through the planet from the North Pole to the South Pole, is angled at 66.5 degrees from the plane of its orbit. This plane formed by the orbit is known as the orbital plane. Now, let's take a closer look at what's happening during this rotation. The Earth actually spins around its axis. The Earth takes 24 hours to complete one full rotation, which means that every 24 hours, we experience day and night. Students, picture this now. You're in India, and the sun is just beginning to rise in the morning. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, in the United States, the moon shines bright in the sky. How can this be? Why is it that when it's morning in India, it's nighttime in the US? It is because, when one side of the earth is facing the sun, it's daytime on that side, and when the other side is facing away from the sun, it's nighttime. Also students, do you know that the dividing line between day and night is called the circle of illumination? But that's not all. The earth is also revolving around the sun in a set path, which is known as the orbital plane. The earth takes about 365.25 or 365.25 days to complete one full revolution around the sun, which is why we have 1 year. Also, it might seem to you that the earth is revolving at a fast speed, but it actually takes it 365 days or a year to cover a distance of over 940 million kilometers. But what about the seasons? Well, that's where the earth's revolution comes into play. As the earth moves around the sun, it also tilts on its axis, which have already discussed, which causes different parts of the planet to receive different amounts of sunlight throughout the year. When one hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, it receives more sunlight, causing warmer temperatures and longer days, which we call summer. And when the other hemisphere is tilted away from the sun, it receives less sunlight, causing cooler temperatures and shorter days, which we call winter. Can you imagine what it would be like if the earth didn't rotate or revolve? One side of the planet would always be in daylight, while the other side would be in darkness, creating extreme and harsh environments that would make it impossible for life to exist on Earth. Just wonder what it would be like if the countries in Africa and Europe had daylight all year round, while the countries in America had night all year round. But because of the Earth's amazing motions, we have a beautiful and diverse planet that is perfect for life to survive. But students, the Earth's motions not only create the perfect conditions for life to exist, they also affect how we experience time on our planet. Now, have you ever noticed that sometimes February has 28 days and other times it has an extra day, making it 29 days long? Well, that's because our planet, the Earth, takes exactly 365.25 days to complete one full orbit around the sun. That's almost a quarter of a day longer than our calendar year, which has only 365 days. So, what do we do to make up for this extra time? We add an extra day to the calendar every 4 years, creating a leap year. That's right, a whole extra day to play, learn, and explore. This leap day is added to the month of February, which is normally only 28 days long. So, during a leap year, February has 29 days instead of 28. Moving on, children, do you know about the longest and shortest days of the year? Let's learn about them together. By longest day, we mean there are more hours of daylight, and it can be very warm and sunny. While shortest day means there are fewer hours of daylight, and it can be very cold and dark. Let's talk about summer solstice first. It occurs on 21st June when the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. This means that the sun's rays fall directly on the Tropic of Cancer, which is located in the northern hemisphere. This results in more heat, longer days, and shorter nights in this part of the world. Can you imagine having continuous daylight for about 6 months at the North Pole and the places beyond the Arctic Circle? That's so cool. On the other hand, the southern hemisphere experiences winter during the summer solstice. This means that it has longer nights and shorter days. But don't worry, the tables turn during the winter solstice, which happens on 22nd December. This time, the South Pole is tilted towards the sun, and the northern hemisphere experiences winter. So, the southern hemisphere has longer days and shorter nights, while the northern hemisphere has shorter days and longer nights. But what is equinox? On the 21st of March and 23rd of September, the sun's direct rays hit the equator. This means that the Earth's axis is not tilted towards or away from the sun, resulting in equal day and night durations all around the globe. This is known as an equinox. On 23rd September, the northern hemisphere experiences autumn, while the southern hemisphere has spring. Conversely, on the 21st of March, the northern hemisphere enjoys spring, and the southern hemisphere has autumn. So students, let us quickly revise and learn the dates which we have studied just now. Solstice. The summer solstice occurs on 21st June. The winter solstice occurs on 22nd December. Equinox. On 21st of March, the northern hemisphere enjoys spring, and the southern hemisphere has autumn. And on 23rd September, the northern hemisphere experiences autumn while the southern hemisphere has spring. So students, the amazing motions of the earth are what make our world go round. From rotation to revolution, the earth's movements create day and night, seasons, and even leap years. Understanding these concepts helps us appreciate the beauty and diversity of our planet. So keep exploring and learning about the world around you, and who knows, you might even become a great astronomer one day. With this we come to the end of the chapter explanation. Now, your homework is to go to the EduRev app, revise from the chapter notes, and take the MCQ test of this chapter.